All right, so we got to talk about this. This is a pretty good update, and there are some things bad about it, but I think that in general, it is just a positive depending on what type of player you are. For me personally, and for you guys, content moving forward, this is going to be really good news because Jogo incidences where where I can't really showcase them day one because I don't have the resources will not really be happening anymore. And my guess personally, in terms of also making sure that we're able to get more of the SP boosted units leveled up, well, here you go, domain investigation for 6 days, right? So that's going to be another thing that's going to help us to get those extra mats. This is honestly really good. It feels like it hasn't been that long since the last domain investigation boost, and it's for 6 days, which is kind of crazy. Let me actually go check. Like, did we ever have one for 6 days? Like, what was the last one? I just want to make sure that I'm not tweaking on this. I probably passed it, didn't I? And the last one was from the 21st to the 25th, which makes it seem that the one we're getting is a day longer, I guess. Pretty much. That's basically what it is, just a day longer. Hopefully they bring this back more often. I mean, this was March 18th, and this is going to be May 3rd. So it's about a month and a half. Hopefully they could bring this more often because, guys, it's pretty rough on JP. Now, what exactly update am I talking about? It is this. So essentially... Oh, this is in 36 minutes. Oh, shit. Okay. They're going to be updating the domain investigation shop and the exchange exchange store. So first of all, the domain investigation store is going to have 2 chaos crystals for 3,000. All right. Before it was only 1. And then afterwards, the recollection bit exchange shop is now going to have chaos crystal for 500. Now, this one I'd say is pretty worth it. Personally, I don't really think the standard tickets are worth it. Now, maybe you could for sure go for it, but I think that now I would personally rather get a chaos crystal over the standard tickets just for that extra chaos crystal. I think it is extremely worth it. The main reason is because if they're going to if they drop like 4 SP buffs every month and a half, then I would say that getting this is going to make you, like, essentially you're going to be able to get almost a full unit extra buffed, right? By the little gap of time that they have with this and then with this. So getting an extra 2 a month is really big if you think about it. Now, I would say 500 is a lot because that's 5 SSR rec bits to trade in. And in general, what that's like 25 tickets, 25 summon tickets. So this one, I'd say for some free-to-plays who are missing things, yeah, no, I definitely think it is not the most worth. But if you're not really missing much of value, at least, then it's not the craziest thing. But remember, SP buffs are happening, so every unit is essentially being valued right now. Like, if they bring a yellow Inumaki buff, he might genuinely be just one of the best units in the game just for how good his revives are right now. Like, if he starts either supporting more, giving some damage reduction, or doing more damage himself for his SP buff, because I thought he had an SP buff, but if we check it out, he actually doesn't, which was like, I was actually surprised. For some reason, I don't know what it was. I thought he did get an SP buff, but he really just didn't. It's just that he has 3 revives now, which is absolutely insane. So I could definitely agree. Some people were like, but this one's not the craziest. And it's like, yeah, sure. Actually, I think that's true. But if you need it, right? If you have the units and you want to buff, for example, you have green Saki, but you can't buff right now, but you want to clear tower. Well, guess what? You get an extra 2 chaos crystals. You're 2 chaos crystals closer to actually getting that buff. So now we could actually talk about why the chaos crystals are so good, because I mentioned SP buffs, but I didn't really like go into it. So why is that? Well, essentially it's because you could SP boost units. And how do you get that? Well, for example, you got to get the buffed skill to level 10. So SP boosts are for certain units. I mean, I think we have a little list here. I don't think it's everyone though, because we're missing Red Panda in this. And I feel like we're missing someone else. But all these units have had their skills buffed. Nobara was her S3 and her passive. Jogo was his ult and passive. And then Yuji was his S3 and passive. Saki was the skill 2, I think, in passive. I think Nobara was the skill 3. Mekamaru was the skill 2 in passive, so on and so forth. But to actually be able to get the buff in the actual hidden potential system, you got to first get that skill to level 10. And for example, Jogo, level 10 ult, guess how much that is? Fucking, it's literally 6 chaos crystals, which is a lot. So being able even to get an extra 2 chaos crystals every single month from well, first of all, domain investigation is actually really huge right now, but being able to get that from the new exchange shops is going to be really big if we think about it, and that's going to be like really soon, like in 30 minutes. So I'm going to be very happy, going to instantly buy those, that's for sure. So I do want to take this time, now that we're getting more, to just talk about the two best buffs, I would say, out of everyone, which is Saki and Jogo, and then also some buffs that I think we could get very soon for half Annie 1.5 anniversary. So why is Jogo so good? Well, essentially there's one big thing that it changed, which was an extra turn. So it does a bit more damage, like 40%, but the domain turn expands by 1. But more than that, he also gets 80 cursed energy. Now this might not seem like much, but because this takes 30 cursed energy, you want to be able to use this more. So now you could essentially use it 4 times in a row and you're gonna be fine, right? You're actually going to be good for that. Now, they barely increased the damage amounts and the other numbers, but that's not really that important. What they did do, though, is here, you have a chance to evade, which is actually pretty strong, if we're being honest. Now, he did get some buffs. So he has a 30% damage buff. So that's going to apply on the skill 3, because when you ult, you get 80 cursed energy, and this is when you're above 60. So the first ones are definitely going to activate, which is definitely pretty good. And then more than that, he also gets the extra cursed energy 3 times, which was already there. So this one became a lot larger. But when you also count that in with this, like, his damage could get pretty fucking high. Like, okay, wait, why does this? Okay, 50% crit damage. Yeah, so I'm trying to see here. It's only 16 damn. So the main thing, so he actually did get a mini buff too. Like, it's not even just the SP buffs. Jogo was still good before, but with the SP buffs, he got the extra turn, which also means 1 more turn of damage reduction, and he still has the dodge in it, which is pretty good. But the main thing is that also the skill 3, it's 3 hits of 191, but that 191 is now at 230. Right, which is a 690 skill 3 that you could spam literally 4 turns in a row. And when you're using this with Domain Gojo, it's gonna be pretty fucking good. So yeah, this guy's very good. Now, Saki's is, I think, the best buffs in the game. Now, why is that? Well, essentially, it's the skill 2. The skill 2 now is just way better. So the damage is a bit higher, cool, but she taunts. Guys, 2-turn taunt for 15 cursed energy. That means you're basically net positive for your taunt to cursed energy ratio, but it's also going to buff her taijutsu stat, which is good, and then reduce damage reduction, or like increase damage reduction, right, for 10%, which might not seem like much, but when you consider everything she's doing, which we're going to get into, it's very good. So this skill 2 is nice because you're able to do damage, stack some extra taijutsu while still taunting. It's crazy. It's crazy. I definitely think that this is just one of the best skills in the game when you consider what else she's doing. And what is that? Well, they actually changed their passive. So she has revival status still, but every time she's hit, she gets an extra 17% taijutsu and jujutsu. So she's going to be stacking on those stats so much, because here when she's below 35% HP, she gets 180% taijutsu and jujutsu for 1 turn, but it's each turn. So this is going to be a lot of damage, and this actually sacrifices 10% HP. So you're going to be able to get into the range to start doing a lot of damage with this extra amount of damage, right? Now, what else there is to consider is, well, this. So if own HP is 60% or below, you're gonna get damage reduction up to 40%, right? And then we go a bit lower, you could get another 3 turns of 50% damage reduction, and then you could get revival status. So basically what they added is the taunt. And why the taunt is so good is because she's got up to 40% damage reduction, but now that's stacking with another 10%, right? Huge. And then if she's below 35%, another 50%. So she could basically be at 100% damage reduction, which is insane. 50%, 40%, and then the skill 2 gives 10%. But then she has a revival status, and then when you trigger revival status, she gets attack nullification. Insane. And now she's actually able to do more damage, because every time she gets hit, it's going to be 17%, right? Which is insane. And then when you're below 35, it does double it. So, you know, you're going to be able to get up to that 150 much easier. So her damage actually gets better, but it's mainly this taunt that allows her whole kit to kind of synthesize into something really good. Because this taunt with the extra damage reduction and the sacrificing actually is really huge. It allows her to get these hits. Well, this is new. This is new. So this is extra damage, right? This is completely new. But the main thing is that these 3 points, and then of course, this, right, all kind of comes together with the taunt. And why this is good is in the new tower floors, they're doing so much damage, right? That being able to take and tank all of these single target hits is just huge while still pumping out actually pretty good damage. And even considering that her ult is at about like 1,000-ish with some damage boost, and then you got to consider like her stats is going to be upwards of like 350% boosted, right? So it's like she is going to be pretty good in these floors. She is really good. She is essentially one of the locks. So being able to get her skills up, being able to get Jogo's ult up is just going to be really big. And that's why something like this, getting an extra 2 Chaos Crystals a month for whoever actually wants it and wants to buff these units, is really huge for JP. And now for the future, I could see personally Inumaki getting buffed, but the biggest one is Blue Gojo and Red Itadori. These two are going to be huge. Itadori really doesn't need much. Like, there's a couple ways they could go about this. Either increase the ult damage or increase the buffs and debuffs. So like on the skill 3, it could be maybe now a 50% stat buff, right? Or 60, and then the ult could maybe go up to like almost 2,000. That would be insane. Now what they could also do is add, usually they like adding one skill and a passive. So for the passive, I could see them probably either enhancing this one or just maybe updating Sukuna's vessel. And actually no, zone outburst would be pretty crazy to change, especially because this is a guaranteed black flash. Look what they did with Itadori, right? Itadori's was absolutely insane. What they added on the zone outburst, which they could easily add, is extra black flash rate, taijutsu stat, and then black flash damage. And if they do that, yeah, we're in business. So like here, when he black flashes, he actually increases his taijutsu, but maybe now it's like, okay, you'll increase your taijutsu, but you're also going to get extra black flash rate, and now you're also going to get extra black flash damage, or maybe crit, right? So that could be a really good one. I think everyone agrees Itadori is pretty close to greatness, but Gojo, I could see him getting buffed for a couple of reasons, because now we have so many good blues. Oh, where's Gojo? We have so many good blues. Now Ino was added, so like I could easily see them adding Blue Gojo as an SP buff, because we're still missing that really like insane. Like actually no, we do have Jogo, but I think it's more a bias. I just want Gojo to be buffed, if I'm completely honest. It would be really fucking cool. So if Gojo gets buffed, like he's going to be pretty good. He comes in, has pride, maybe his skill 2 gets buffed, or his ult. If his ult goes up to like 1500, he's going to be in business. Now the thing is with the Gojo, like how do you buff him on a passive is my thing. So we'll have to see. Maybe now his urgent business goes to 9 turns. I don't think they're going to make his buff too crazy, if we're being honest. Like I could see them just extending this turn amount to 9 and then calling it a day, but we'll see. Quote me on that if I'm right. Quote me on that one. But yeah, no, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to be getting it? Like personally, I want to know, are you going to be getting the Chaos Crystal from the actual Recollection bit shop? Yes or no? I think that being able to spend 6,000 on Chaos Crystals is a lot better. Personally, right now in Domain Investigation, I have 6,000, so that's going to be pretty good already. I could just buy 2 at the start of the month and then build up for another 2 next month. So hey, definitely good, because we started to need this. I think it's pretty funny that they just increased this by a day. I find it a bit ironic. It probably should be here either longer or twice a month. I'm gonna say it's going to be here twice a month from now on, but we'll have to see, because that is not something guaranteed. Let me know, which buff are you actually excited for the most, like from units not buffed? Personally, for me, it is Red Yuji. But besides that, like besides Blue Gojo, Red Yuji, who would I want? Momo. Actually, a Momo buff could go crazy. If they add stat buffs, she could be really good. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.